this is the story of how we turned this into this. Hi, my name is Kirby, and I'm here to tell you about our 30-day journey trying to hatch chicken eggs all on our own. It all started when our professor, Miss Nina Fulgencio, gave us the option to either brood chicks or hatch eggs to turn them into chicks. We were paired up into groups, and I was placed with Marge, Bea, Lorene, and Althea. We worked together and really channeled our inner girl power to make this project successful. We brainstormed and thought about the options, and we were really going to brood since one of our members, Lorene, needed to brood for her other subject too. But as we went on with the preparation, we realized that we did not have enough time or space to push through with our initial plan. So, for several days, we searched everywhere we could to find the best fertile chicken eggs we could use for this project. Althea did not quite get the project at first. We were all so excited when she said that she had found chicken eggs we could use. To our surprise, she revealed that the supplier she found was just a regular chicken egg farmer selling eggs for our sunny side up for breakfast. So, we continued to look for eggs. We became members of Facebook groups for chicken farmers and posted everywhere we could to find eggs to use. We even reached Zamboanga and Nueva Vizcaya. And then it hit me. I have relatives in Batangas, and I had one uncle in particular that I could ask to look for eggs for me. So I contacted him and asked him to look for eggs for me. After scouting several farmers within our province, Tito Noy ended up with only 23 eggs. We were running out of time, so I went to Batangas to pick the eggs up even if they were incomplete, and went home to Manila where I stay when I have classes. So, that was one problem solved. We had eggs to hatch. Problems didn't end there though. We were short on budget for buying or even making a DIY incubator. So, we all agreed to rent out one incubator from someone who hatches eggs for a living. Lucky us, our member Marge's dad hatches eggs for different farmers. No problemo, we now have an incubator to use for our egg incubation. Special thanks to Marge's dad too for guiding us through the process of incubation. So, I sent the eggs over to Marge's house so she could set it up and incubate. The rider who brought the chicken eggs must have thought they were regular eggs because when the eggs arrived at Marge's home, only 19 were whole. Some were egg cracks and some were smashed. Marge immediately cleaned the eggs so the hatching wouldn't be compromised. After the cleaning, Marge placed the eggs in the incubator. The waiting game begins. March 15, 2023, a total of 19 eggs were incubated, and according to the source of the eggs, these were Rhode Island red eggs. The eggs were marked for identification to make sure that nobody would mistaken them for their eggs. They were also turned 3 times a day because the heating would not be even if we did not do this, and the eggs might not hatch if that happens. The first 7 days of incubation wasn't really that eventful. There weren't a lot of physical changes, and we really had to wait. On the 13th day of incubation, there were still no physical changes to them, but to make sure that we were not wasting our time with incubating something that was not viable anyway, we decided to candle the eggs. Upon candling, we found out that all 19 of the eggs have a growing embryo inside. The best way to find out if your fertile eggs are viable or not is through candling. If light passes through the eggs, this means that the egg isn't viable. But if the light does not pass through, there's a great chance of the eggs hatching into chicks. At this stage, consistency is key, even if you're not seeing results right away. So we made sure that the eggs were being turned at the right schedule every single day. By day 20, some of the eggs were now starting to hatch. Some were completely hatched, and some were partly open but were still inside the eggshells. Taking out the chicks right after they hatch would shock the chicks, and it would also put the other eggs at risk for not hatching. The sudden change in temperature with the chicks and within the incubator might cause the eggs to stop developing and end up not hatching. Because of this reason, for the first few hours of the chicks outside of their shells, they will be staying inside the incubator first. When the time is right, the chicks that hatched were moved immediately to the brooding area. This part we won't really discuss too much because we did not focus on this. By the 20th day, 15 out of 19 chicks were hatched. Since incubation only lasts for 16 to 21 days, we were almost certain that the remaining eggs would not hatch anymore. Out of the 15 chicks that hatched, there was one that looked some kind of abnormality on its leg. It looked like a mass and it felt tough, like it was an excess bone in the leg. This chick with an abnormality tried to fight for its life, but by day 6, it died. The chicks that hatched were different colored. This might have been because they weren't all Rhode Island red, since the source of our eggs were different farmers. We got brown, yellow, and black chicks now brooding in the brooding area. The initial weight of the chicks upon hatching were about 40 to 50 grams. Some were larger than others, and there were some who looked really small but are just as strong and healthy. Hatching eggs and watching them slowly convert into chicks was really a rewarding activity, but it took a lot of time and effort. For 21 days, we monitored the heat, made sure to turn at a constant schedule, and even had a little taste of brooding the chicks that have hatched. We were hoping for 100% hatching rate, but we were told that even the most experienced chicken farmers barely reach that rate. So, for 5 first-timers and vet med students, 15 out of 19 eggs were very much an honor for us to have. We are quite proud and grateful for what we have achieved. So, that's the story of how we turned this into this as future veterinarians. We are so excited for what else comes next for us, and I am excited to share what else is to unfold within my journey with all of you. Special thanks to Miss Nina Fulgencio for making us do this project. This was so great to do, and we are looking forward to do this again without the pressure of time and grades, but just for the experience and the learning. The next few parts of this video will just be a compilation of the pictures and videos that we have collected throughout the brooding stage. Although we really wanted to do a time lapse, we did not have enough equipment and time to do that, so this is all that we had for now.
Kasi may laman na pag ganun.
Oo, may laman yan. Kaya di na gaano makikita mo. Yun, mga 10 araw.
Pengi! Uy, hindi ko mahuli. Ay, ang laki nito. Wala, hindi ikaw. Maliit ka, hindi ka ikaw. Yeah.